Hi, I'm Janet Miller, and welcome to Own Your Divine Light show. Today, I invite you to listen to Soul Purpose Master, Anjani Amriit. Anjani is also an entrepreneur, a visionary, a thought leader, and a change catalyst. Anjani is a genius at supporting her heart-based business owners, light workers, and executives claim their personal power and align with their fullest potential to bring their soul purpose into their life for their business and for radical freedom, success, and abundance. Welcome, Anjani.
Thank you.
Honored to have you here.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And so, Anjani, I know you come from humble beginnings, and I really wanted to start there. Would you like to tell us a little about that?
Yeah, sure. Humble beginnings served me well. I was born and raised in a very small mining town in Yorkshire, to immigrant parents, and I never really fitted in where I lived. I never felt like I fitted in, and physically I didn't really fit in, and I got called lots of names. I was overweight as a kid, so my nickname at school was Fatty.
Oh boy.
Yes, and also I had darker skin than everyone, so I was called other names that I won't mention. But and it was tough, it was tough to. And I think all my life I was just trying to fit in, trying to be normal. I had a very thick Yorkshire accent, and so you go out of Yorkshire and no one understands you, and that kind of was a block as well for me internally. And it's been a whole journey for me of just really learning to love myself, learning to accept myself, learning to accept my family of origin, my culture, and all of that. And it's been this wonderful, hard, difficult, amazing, joyful journey for me. So that was my beginnings, yes.
That's fantastic. I mean, what you've done is incredible. So what was the key that you'd say unlocked this new vision that got your life going where you are now?
Well, it's been a while coming, because when I first, my desire was just get out of here. It felt too small for me. And I often would dream, I wish I could just be happy where I am. But I always felt there was a deeper calling in me. And that led me to the law. And I trained and had a long career as a lawyer in the most prestigious law firms in the world. I kind of clambered my way up the ladder and worked for the top 3 circle law firms in the world. And I thought that was going to make me happy. I thought, yay, that's the key. That's what I need. That will make me happy. I traveled all over the world, first class and business class on deals. And did it make me happy? No, of course it didn't. I felt more estranged from myself. I felt more alienated than I ever did. I didn't belong to that culture, that type of industry either. And that's not to say there's nothing wrong with the law. It does an amazing service for the world, but it just wasn't my service. And there was a point in time for me, I remember it distinctly, and it was quite magical, and it gives me goosebumps to share it now, and I might cry. When I'd been running my own legal business for a while, and there was a moment when I lost my major client, and I'd owned my beautiful by the ocean apartment. It had double balconies. It was just my dream home. And I had a choice point, and the choice point was, do you go back into law, go back and work in-house? And I had this incredible offer to work in-house for a winemaking company.
Wow.
Or do I go to India on a retreat with a woman I just met who was a spiritual teacher? Do I go to India on her retreat and sell my house and take that road? And I was kind of debating about it in my mind, what should I do? I knew what I felt. My heart wanted me to go to India. My fear and my ego was saying, no, that's ridiculous. Take the job. Are you crazy? It's, don't do it.
It's a tough one.
Yes. And then this magical thing happened. I asked for confirmation from the universe. I said, please, universe. I just started out in my journey. I said, please, universe, give me a sign if I'm meant to go to India. And the retreat was all about igniting your spirit. And I didn't have the money to go to India and sort out my finances. I had to do one or the other. In the mail came this credit card, and I opened it, and it was bright red, and on the credit card, I still have it today, it said Ignite. The credit card was called Ignite. And I thought, that's my sign. And I put my house up for sale the very next day. And it sold while I was on retreat for a good amount of money. And then everything flowed from there. My whole life just flowed. It was like I got in this stream and it just took me. It just took me. And that's how it's been ever since. And I'm not saying it's been easy, but it's been amazing at the same time.
And you're happy. And that's what makes it so much more important. You're happy in what you're doing, no matter how hard it is. It doesn't feel like work. Isn't that kind of the secret I hear from people, that it's like not work, and I just love what I do, and it doesn't matter how hard it is, I just love it. And that's the flow. That's the flow you talk about.
Yeah, it really is. It's such flow, and I never felt that in law, other than when I was I ended up doing some free work, some pro bono work for an animal charity they're really amazing. They're called Voiceless, give them a plug. And they do legal work to support animal rights. And so when I aligned my energy with that, whilst I was still a lawyer, that flowed. And I ended up on the Australasian Animal Welfare Strategy at the federal government, influencing people there, which felt beautiful, and I felt very blessed. So it's when you get aligned with your purpose, my purpose being to help humanity as all light workers, then it flows, then you get this amazing flow, and you don't have to force, you don't have to try, you don't have to effort. Your stream takes you with it.
Oh, it's so true. It's so true. So your soul purpose, I love that that's what your mastership is in. And does everyone have a life purpose? And is that what, how do you know that? Is it, how do you learn that? Do you need to know it from like a young age? What do you think on that?
Yeah, it's a great question. And there's a couple of things in that. I'll answer the last question first. Yes, everyone has a purpose.
Okay.
And do we all know it at a young age? Not necessarily, because and I'm talking about the larger purpose. Not everyone knows from a young age their larger purpose. Some are born instinctively knowing, with their hearts opened. And some of us have to get there. Some of us have to do a little bit of work, a little bit of soul searching to get there. And it's like, I like to liken it to school. And there are some souls who are born and they're in kindergarten, and some souls are born and they're in high school, and some souls are born pre-programmed to like a PhD. And it's more those souls who are coming in as the PhD souls that already know their purpose. They know, I'm here to make a big difference, and I just get on with it. That there is no better or worse. There's just an isness about that. And that's how it is. We don't, when we're in kinder, go, oh, I wish I was a PhD student, do we? We just enjoy playing. And that's wonderful. So that's around the purpose. And do we all know it? Yes, it's inbuilt. And there's smaller purposes and larger purposes. And the smaller purpose is more like, it can range from, I know I need to go clear out my garage. I know I need to do it, and I've got to get onto that purpose, because when I do it, I'll feel good about myself. I'll feel better about myself. And then when I start feeling better about myself, I'll get into more alignment, and then I'll get another revelation about what's my next purpose. That's the smaller purpose. And then the larger purpose, then we start talking about life purpose and soul purpose. And the difference is, for me, life purpose is more, I want the car, I want my beautiful home, I want my heart-based business to have greater success, I want to be seen in the world, I want my beautiful husband or my beautiful wife, I want the success. It's those, they're the life purposes, and they're just as valuable as the soul purpose, just as valuable. And actually they take us to our soul purpose. It's all taking us there. Then we have the soul's purpose, and that's that deeper, heart-based yearning inside of you. And often you don't know what that is. Sometimes you know, and if you know, it's so scary. You just kind of go, oh, no, that's not for me. I can't do that. Who am I? Who's going to listen to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you feel that it's something you can't ignore, it keeps coming back, and it keeps coming back, and it keeps coming back. And that's, part of the work that I do is help people step into their smaller purposes, their life purpose, and then ultimately, if they're ready for that, and if they feel that, their soul purpose.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing because, when you go to school and you go into high school or college, they want you to know what you're going to do. I never knew in those days. So, I went in as a nurse. So I was actually in the right direction because I was a healer. After that, I became a healer. And once I became a healer, I absolutely knew that was my call. My whole heart opened right up. Like you did. You went to India and you gave up your house. It wasn't as hard as you thought it was going to be. And yet your whole life went into this amazing flow. And I know when I do the healing work, I'm in a flow, and it's amazing for me. And but I keep changing it now. Now I'm into a new flow, and so I was actually traveling around the planet and doing clearing there, and that was another flow. And now I'm in this flow, so it's like, wow, you never know where you're going, but it's so exciting, and it's such a journey, and that's what I think people, to open up to that is such a great understanding and awareness that it's okay to not have to know everything all the time, that if you're on the right path, it just comes your way. And so that's how it's been for me, and I know for you, you've done the same thing, so it's exciting. So what does everybody need to know about their soul purpose? I know you say what do they need to know?
Well, they need to know 3 things, and that's it. They need to know how to allow, how to let it in, how to allow themselves to connect with their truth, their authentic selves. So like you were saying, I wanted to be a nurse, I became a nurse, and I thought that was how I could serve people. And interestingly, that's what I wanted to do also when I was growing up. All I wanted to be a nurse or a doctor, to help people. And in fact, I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to become a doctor because my whole family are nurses, and no one had ever reached the doctor status. So I thought, and my grandfather wanted to be a doctor, but he got caught up in the war, and he ended up being a miner in the pits. And so I thought, I want to do it for my granddad. I want to be that doctor. I thought that was it. And when I didn't get the grades for a doctor, I thought, well, the next best thing is a lawyer, so I can help people being a lawyer. Yeah. And you see how it's that inbuilt thing around, I want to help people. I know I'm born to help people, and I hear that from you, and I so hear that. And you're not changing, by the way. I feel that you're evolving rapidly.
Yes, I love that. That's a good word. We're evolving.
Yes, we're evolving. So the first thing is allowing. How do I allow that to blossom in me? And there's a whole piece around that. That's about stepping into your self-empowerment. That's about taking your personal power. And it's around healing the healer. We have to heal ourselves first. And that takes time. And often we want to skip that part because we think we're ready, and we're probably not. And that's what I spend a lot of time doing on myself. The second step is attunement. So that is really attuning to then your soul vibration, your high vibration, or your light. Light for me is vibration. Mm-hmm. So owning your light, really, for me, I translate that as, yes, it's light. Light is a vibration. And if you think of light as a vibration, it's much higher than a vibration of darkness. A vibration, we're talking pure physics. Yep. And so when we claim our light, when we attune to more of our light, we become more magnetic and more powerful, more influential in life. So for me, that's about owning our light, the attunement. And I work with people, helping them attune to their light. And then the third part really is the alignment. So once we're attuned, then we can get into alignment with our full wisdom, our full knowing, our full, true, authentic, beautiful self, and then we're blazing in the world. And once we're in alignment, then we take inspired action, because it takes those three parts to get into the alignment before we can take inspired action. Then we wake up and we go, oh, I've had an idea, just like you. I've had this idea, and I'm going to go with this idea because I'm in my power. I know I can trust myself now. I know I can tune myself in, get aligned, and then take the inspired action. So that's what we need to know about soul purpose. It takes those three steps. That's what I support people through so that they can get into their flow. And you've done that. So congratulations. It's amazing. And I feel that, and I want to honor that today.
Thank you very much. And, you know, that's the whole journey, is all about healing yourself. To me, that's the number one thing. We all have to heal ourselves. And that's what I wanted the show to tell people. It's all about taking care of yourself first. And it's not selfish. It's self-love. And that is so important to realize. There's such a difference. To be self-loving is to just say, okay, I need this right now. And take yourself aside and do what you need to do for yourself. And we just have to realize it's safe, it's good to do. It's what we're meant to do. And we do a lot of, we suffer a lot when we choose not to. Do you think that's true? I think
so true. We beat ourselves up, especially healers, especially light workers. They beat themselves up because they think they have this knowing, I'm here to help people, which when we're not in our power gets wrongly translated as, I can't help myself, I have to help others. And then we suffer. Right. And we cannot help others from an empty cup. We have to fill our own cup first, and then what's flowing over we give to others. And it's infinite, right? Whatever's flowing, whatever our cup flows over, that's infinite. And then we can just keep replenishing by those acts of self-love, or what I call selfing. It's selfing. And we have to do that, because if we're not doing that, we're actually giving empty. When we're serving, what we're offering is emptiness, pain, and suffering. And that doesn't lift the vibration of humanity.
And it also leads to a lot of dis-ease in the body. I mean, that's where disease comes from. I mean, people, they don't understand the connection. And it's funny, because the more you're in this work, the more you understand the connection is so important, is so powerful. When you can give yourself the time to take care of these old wounds and things you're stuck with that you've had from childhood or whatever it comes from, and then you can at least have an awareness of, this is what it is. This is what's bothering me. That's the number one key. And then you choose to work with it and clear it out of your life. And it is possible to do that, because we can say that we've done it. And I'm not saying it's like we're perfect. We're not. We have a lot. It's ongoing. It's an ongoing process. But at least you can move forward and find new joy in your life when you can get on that path and go, oh, wow, I really can take care of myself. I really can do this for me. And it's important. Like you say, you have to give from a cup that's half full and not half empty. It's got to be full. Or overflowing is even better.
Yes.
If you get the overflow, that's like the best. Yes. So what do you think is a secret formula to finding your life's, your soul purpose?
The 3 steps that I mentioned, and I teach that through a method that I downloaded. So it's something that wasn't something I thought about. I didn't think, oh, how can I be clever and teach these steps? It naturally, organically just came to me in a coaching session once, and it's called the C's method. And it's all about the self. So interestingly, you mentioned you have to be selfing, self-love, selfish, whatever we want to call it, because that's what it's based upon. And I love the synchronicities here. It's fabulous. Yes. So the C's method is really about, it refers to the seas as in the ocean. And we all know that life is like the ocean. We are as the ocean. We're all the ocean and all of the drops in it. And once we realize that to a deep level, we can connect to our infinite abundance. And so how do we do that? Well, we have to be able to navigate the seas of life when we're feeling great or when we're not feeling great, and really step into our mastery and stay focused on our soul's purpose, on our purpose, and not be taken away from it. And if we are, know how to navigate back. So the C stands for self. The first S is the self. It's all about the self, and I say it's an inside job. If you want to find your soul purpose, your life purpose, it's an inside job. It's within you. It's not outside of you. It's internally sourced, not externally sourced. So when people say, hey, I'm looking for love, I'm looking for my house, I'm trying to find it, I'm looking on Google, I'm looking on realestate.com, I'm on the apps, I can't find him, I can't find my home. It's because they're missing the most important part, which is the self. So that's self. Getting to realize that. And then we're looking at the E is for inquiry. So this is self-inquiry. And this part is about turning your gaze inwards. How do I look inwards to my own and connect to my inner wisdom? Often we want to give our power away to something else. Mm-hmm. And I'm all for looking inwards at your own power, at your own wisdom. And the coaching and the mentoring I do is really getting people to go from this to this, looking inside and using a method to observe the self and connect to the self and start trusting your guidance, your wisdom. It's in there, but unless you're spending time focusing on it, looking at it, connecting to it, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get the information. Mm-hmm. I liken it to, when we're in the car on a main road and there's someone waiting to come out of a side road, and I'll often wait and flash them, come on, and they're just not looking. They're looking down or they're messing with their phone and they miss it. So right. Unless we're tuned in and expecting it, we're not going to see the flow, the synchronicity, the opportunities, the guidance. So that's the inquiry part. And then the A of the C's is around awareness. So the more we start tuning in, the more aware we are to the synchronicities, to what our soul's calling. Mm-hmm. And when we have awareness, then we can connect to all those people. We can start joining the dots and think, it's this today, it's that today. Here I am in my flow. And then once we have awareness, then we come to the last part, which is support, the end of the C's, self-support. So self-inquiry, self-awareness, self-support. And that's when we are taking specific actions to support ourselves through our journey towards light, towards more higher vibration. So that's the method that I use to help people allow, attune, and really get into full alignment with the light, with the highest vibration, with their soul's purpose. And it's quite amazing for me, even for this body, to see the transformations, to observe them that go on for people, and I see them, not me, making what they thought was impossible possible. There've been so many instances of that I had example. Yeah, I had so clients. A lot of clients in the corporate world wanting to transition, wanting to get their side hustle going. And they say, I'm working full time. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I can't ask my boss. Getting them into their power, getting them to ask, imagine it, visualize it. And so many of them, this is what I get a lot. You'll never believe this, Anjani. And I'll go, I will believe it. They let me have 4 days. They let me go to 4 days. They gave me a pay rise. I'm changing my schedule, or this new job came in. I've had clients I had one client who had this massively successful agency, but his dream was to make movies. And he came to me and he was angry and he was like, I'm unhappy. I just want to make movies. But I can't get rid of my business because that's my lifeline. And now he's doing both. He's actually doing both, and he's loving it.
Sorry. So, I see. What one thing should you never do if you want to discover your soul's purpose?
You should never, when you want to discover your soul purpose, you should never try to get it. You should never put any ads in the paper. You should never try and externally source it, because it's not there. It's not outside of you. It's inside of you. You should also never think that you can do it alone. This is not a solo sport, okay? You need a team of people. You need at least a mentor, a teacher, a coach, a role model, someone physically in your life helping you, who've gone a little bit down the track and cleared the way for you a little bit more. We cannot do this alone. We actually need a whole team. And I know you have a whole team, and I have a whole team that help pull me up as I pull others up. It's like this chain. And so you should never think that, oh, I can sit here alone and work on my heart-based business as a side hustle, and I'll be a quiet achiever, and one day it will happen. It's not going to. You actually need to engage with someone who's further down the track than you, who has cultivated their light a little bit more than you, and who can show you the way, who is a way shower, who can help you attune to your light, whose attunement is greater. Having a spiritual teacher or a mentor, a coach, is all going to help you get there. So never sit at home. In your corporate work, don't think that it's going to come to you. Don't think that, oh, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing, and one day I'll set up that orphanage that I want to, or one day I'll write my book. It's not going to happen. You have to get some help, some guidance, someone to make you accountable, someone to help you switch your light on, someone to share their wisdom to unlock yours.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's like staying in the same neighborhood and nothing's going to change. You've got to get out of that neighborhood and, ask for help. It's so important to ask for help. And a lot of people find that, oh, well, it's a sign of weakness. It's not a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign of courage, I think, when people choose to ask for help, because we don't know everything, and it's impossible for us to know everything. And, and if you haven't experienced it, you couldn't even imagine what it would be. What's the next step for you? You just don't know.
Yeah, that's it. We don't know what we don't know. And it takes us to be witnessed by someone else for our own light to be revealed. It takes us. And I agree with you 100%. It's courage. It takes courage to reach out and ask for help. And I find a lot with light workers, heart-based entrepreneurs, visionaries who are working in the corporate world, who know their light work is really, and they have this secret dream. I find that they have trouble asking for help. And that's one of the main obstacles to overcome. If you can just reach out to a teacher, a coach, a mentor, whoever it is, if it's not me, great. If it's me, great. If it's Janet, great. If it's anyone on Janet's program, great. But reach out to them. Someone who resonates with you when they speak, when you hear them, they make you feel amazing, motivated, inspired. Reach out to them and connect with them and let them help you switch your light on. That's what it's about. So I totally agree with you. That's the only step you have to do by yourself. The rest, all the help will come in. You just got to know how to ask.
Yes, it's that leap of faith again. It's always the leap of faith. You've got to realize that what is your life? I always look at my life and say, what's it going to look like if I do this? If I stay where I am now, nothing's really happening anymore that I'm really excited about. So what's next? So that's when this all came up, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this was on the calendar. But it's like, wow, what a fantastic gift I've gotten just to be able to do this. I'm like, thank you. All right, I'm just going to do it, and just take, scared to death and all, and you just do it, because if you're too comfortable, it doesn't work. I mean, this is another thing. It's if you're so comfortable in your life, it's nice to be comfortable, but yet, are you happy? I mean, are you truly happy? Are you settling? Then you're settling. You can be settling, and some people are okay with settling, but many of us are not. So it's the seekers who are not. So this is for whoever is not, really. And if they're ready, or maybe they didn't think they were ready, and now we're just giving them that little information, like, okay, I could do something new. I really am tired of what I'm doing, It's good. It's great. And this is why I wanted to do this show, is to tell people there's other things you can do. And you don't even know what you can do yet until you just say, what's this dream I had since I was a kid? What was that, My dream was to travel around the world. Well, I did that with my husband. We did his work. And before we even had children, we did that. It was wonderful. Now, you know, it just keeps going. And I think that's part of what you're saying. That's a lot of what you're saying. And
absolutely. Yes. And we don't know until we ask the right question. I love what you just said. It's about asking the right questions. Asking the right questions, because often we don't know what to do next. And we think, I can't take action until I know what to do. But that's the wrong way around. The right way around is, I don't know what it is. I feel this deep calling. So let me ask the question to myself, to my soul, that is always connected to the whole of the universe, the multiverse, all that is. What is the next piece? And there's all this time, this space that we need to be in, that is like a gestation period. It's an incubation period where we just have to keep connecting, keep allowing, keep attuning, and then boom, and it will come. And then we need help to implement it, because of course it's scary. It's, well, I've never done it before. And we need help with all of those stages, and listening to others who have been there is one step to getting there. And then reaching out for help, that's another step that'll really, you know, and look at the result for you. All these amazing people sharing their light, which is such a beautiful thing.
Such a beautiful gift. I'm just over the moon. I'm so grateful. And, you know, the other thing is, you know, when you're uncomfortable, then you know you're in the right place, because you're being guided to go there because it's new and you've got to give it a shot. You've got to try it. So discomfort is a good sign. People think it's a bad sign, but you've got to be willing to be uncomfortable before you're comfortable. I mean, you know, people work hard to have the beautiful house and the beautiful car. Well, we've got to do the inside work to get to do that beautiful soul purpose, to get to that real true calling that was meant to be our job and our work here. It's not even a job. It's just our purpose, our calling. Whatever makes your heart sing is what I say. Your soul sing, you know?
I love that. And then the beauty is, then everything you ever desired and more beyond what you could ever dream comes into your life. So you just go, wow, I couldn't have even dreamed that this amazing thing would come into my life. My dream was this big, and then my soul's dream was like on steroids. And wow, then you're playing with all these other people in the world who are just blazing their light, and you just go, wow, someone pinch me, because this is just too good to be true, right? So this is happening to you now. It happens to my clients all the time. It happens to me all the time. I'm making a documentary this year. And it's just so exciting, because I just thought it was a dream of mine. I never thought I could do it. And then in came all these beautiful people, and it's happening, and we're filming at Uluru, which is my absolute, one of my sacred soul connection places. It's just, I love that place. It's just home, one of my soul homes. And I just, you know, it's beyond what our egoic mind can ever conjure up. It's magical, it's awe-inspiring. So when we do the work to grow, we get the rich reward. So never forget that. You get rewarded way beyond what anything of hard work and effort would ever give you.
And the main thing is, you got to take that action step. The action step is the one you talked about. You can't just sit there and go, oh, it's going to happen to me. I've really been dreaming about it, but you have to take the action to make it happen. Because this is a free will planet. We have to ask, and then we receive. It doesn't come just because the angels are around us. They're waiting to be asked. They're like, okay, I'm getting tired. I need to do something here. What do you want me to do? But they won't do it unless you ask. And it's all of that. And people think it's okay. Oh, no, God will just bring it to me. No, it's not going to happen that way. You need to ask. And not just beg, but it's like, it's just the way you do it. It's, you know, it's a whole other learning that we do in this program. These kind of programs, like what you're talking about, what you're doing.
Yes.
So you commit to a life worth living, worth loving. That's one of your words, which I love. I'm committed to a life worth loving. And to me, that is the most beautiful path to be on, which is where I'm at this point. And this is all about self-love again and your discovery of light. And so how did this make a difference in your life at this point? How can you connect to now for you? Making a documentary.
Mm.
So you do your trips in the Outback as well, the Dreamtime trips. Those are pretty amazing looking.
Yes, I mean, my life pretty much is a retreat these days. That's how I see it. Is it all easy and glowing and, you know, Instagram amazingness? No.
No.
Do I constantly have to learn, grow, and evolve? Yes. But every time I do, the reward is there. It's like, do the work, have the reward. It's like God or the universe going, come on, do a little bit more, and you'll have all this ice cream or all this cake or all this excitement, or all this fun. And so, you know, the ship has turned. And for me, it's really about total trust, total faith that when the hard times come, I now know, this is an opportunity for me to grow into something more amazing and more exciting. So I kind of bunker down and do the work. And for me, the turning point was that trip to India, and then everything in my life just really flowed. You know, I studied Ayurveda, I studied yoga, I studied ancient philosophers, I studied energy healing, I studied synthesis. And it just came so easily to me. All of this wisdom, this ancient wisdom, it was like, you know what, I've learned this before. Sanskrit, I learned Sanskrit in 3 days.
Really?
I mean,
Wow.
it was like I knew it. When I was studying law, I wouldn't go in. Like everything I just wouldn't go in. It was so difficult to do I was so scared about my exams in law in the holistic area. It was like I knew it was inbuilt, and so you get the flow. So that was for me the turning point, and discovering my light, and then really allowing it to blossom and grow. It's like the fuel that carries you. It's really the fuel. It carries you and it buoys you through all of life's adversities.
It does. It really does. So we, you know, I know you have a special gift to tell people about, so I'd love you to share that, if you don't mind, about your wonderful gift.
Yeah, so the gift I would love to offer it's for the first 54 people who sign up. I'd love to offer it to everybody, but I sat and thought about it and thought, I might be inundated. So the first 54 people, my number is a free Discover Your Purpose mentoring session with me. And in that session, the main aim will be to help you get real clarity and vision for your soul purpose. The strategies that you need to take to attaining that soul purpose, and the intention or higher vision that you can set, or the affirmation that will be the fuel to carry you there. So we're going to do all that on the free complimentary call with me. So that's what I'd love to offer for people. And so it's for the first 54 who sign up. So first in, best dressed. There's a link that you can book it in, and it'll be on Zoom, so you'll get to interact with me personally, and you'll have my full attention. You'll have all of my wisdom and everything that I can give to you. And if you don't get to that, then you can sign up on my webpage and get a free download of my free guided meditation, and it's 3 meditations, 3 mini ones, 10 minutes each for your invincible day. And the idea behind that meditation is really to help people get into that allowing, attuning, and aligned state. So that way I can offer something to everyone, but the special offer is really the personal time with me, to be mentored by me, to really help ignite your light so that you can get clarity on your purpose. And I'm so excited to be offering that. So thank you for the opportunity to let me offer that to people today.
Oh, thank you. That is such a beautiful gift. Oh, wow. Love it. So I would love to ask our audience to email us and to tell us how they love the show. We read them all, and we really would love to read anybody's comments. Just let us know. And I know Anjani will love to hear it. You know, we're both going to read them and share it. And Any final words for 2019? Any special message or words you can think of for 2019 that people need to be aware of?
I'd love to say this. Have an intention for the year. And the intention is, it's in-sourced. So often people set intentions and they set dreams and goals and strategies, and they don't work because they're not aligned with the experience they want to have. So here's a secret that I teach in my intention setting workshop that I want to share is this. Set an intention for the experience that you want to have for this year, for 2019. And I'll share mine with you. My intention for 2019 is this. I am deeply in love with life. And when I'm deeply, that's the experience I want to have. And then everything I desire is going to flow from that, right? If I'm deeply in love with life, then everything that comes to me is going to help me be deeply in love with life. So can you see how that's like the fuel to really carry you through the whole year? So that's what I'd like to share with people and offer for people this year is really helps set a clear intention of the experience you want to have for this year. And you can totally rip mine off if you want to. You can have it.
I may.
Everyone who's listening, or hopefully it will inspire you for yours.
Yes, and the more you do this work, the more you do fall in love with your life. I mean, and that's what this is all about, is to learning to fall in love with life and learning to fall in love with yourself.
Yes.
So important. Life and yourself. If you can't give what you don't got, right?
That's so true.
So thank you so much, Anjani, for sharing owning your light and becoming a master way shower and a seeker of the new knowledge and a leading person to help awaken all these people and help them unlock their passions and to ignite their authenticity, which is your word you also use. I love it. And to finally create the life they love. I'm Janet, and to own their own divine light. So I am Janet Miller, and I will catch you on the next episode. Thank you so much, Anjani.
Namaste. Thank you.
Namaste.